So, good afternoon. Welcome to the Results Rules OK bite-sized workshop. This one is about money, love, speed. It's about timing. It's about getting things done on time and about perceptions of timing for commercial quotations and generally dealing with people as well. So thank you for dialing in and being on the call. For those who are just watching and listening to the recording, maybe on YouTube or something, a very quick intro about what we do over here. I'm Dave Holland. The company's Results Rules OK. We're based in Luxembourg. This is France, the home in France, offices in Luxembourg and the UK. And my role is sort of changed over the years, but I'm now really, I call myself the business co-pilot. I sit alongside my clients and help them in business grow and develop personally and professionally. And we did a quick count up. We've got clients now in 34 countries. And I think looking at the people on the call today, we've got about 8 or 9 countries on the call today as well, which is really good. So that's who we are. We're based in Luxembourg and we work on a global basis. So to kick off about time, the thing that I've learned, and this is the principles about time within business, there are 2 sorts of time, or 2 types of time, if you like. There's objective time, time we measure by a clock, minutes, hours, seconds, all that sort of thing, calendar time, diary time. And there's a second sort of time, which is psychological time. It's the time that we perceive. And what I've realized is that for us, business people, when we're in sales or marketing or running a company, we tend to think in objective time because we know how long it's going to take to do something. We have plans and programs and processes. We think in objective time, but psychological time is in the mind or the consciousness of our clients and prospects and the people around us. And psychological time is different. It's like they're watching a kettle. A kettle doesn't boil if you watch it, or it doesn't seem to. So psychological time is not fixed. It can either be really, really quick. If you're on holiday, time speeds up. And if you're in the dentist having a root canal treatment, as I had to have, it really, really slows down. 10 minutes in a dentist chair takes about 3 months. So psychological time is flexible. Laura, you're Dutch. You're definitely Dutch. You're not going to penalize you by calling you English. You're absolutely fine. So objective time is what we work on in business. So we think in objective time, but clients and customers think in psychological time. That's why they have these sort of bizarre expectations of how long things are going to take. And there's an interesting quote from Alice in Wonderland, where Alice asked the White Rabbit, how long is forever? And the White Rabbit simply says, well, sometimes just 1 second. It can be as long as you want. Forever is in the mind and the eye of the beholder. And the challenge that we face in business is we operate in objective time, but we've got to manage this psychological time. We're dealing with emotional time and emotional constructs. And this happens all the time. I had this morning, as I think I mentioned earlier on, the PC was doing an update. And it came up on the screen. All it said was, Windows needs to update, press restart now. And this was at 6 o'clock this morning. I was doing a call to Australia. And I thought, well, that'll be fine. So I clicked restart. And then, of course, it goes into this huge, great download and it stops working. But it doesn't tell you how long it's going to take. So I'm sat here. It took 2.5 hours in the end to get this thing done. But I'm thinking in my psychological time frame, I'm thinking that should take about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, up it goes, download, done, I'm back on track again. And it didn't. And they didn't tell me how long it was going to take either. It actually said, this may take a while. That was all it said. No guidance, no structure, just this may take a while. Now, in my world, this may take a while is 5 minutes. In Microsoft world, apparently, a while is 2.5 hours. But that's the mismatch. Now, obviously, from Microsoft, they know this stuff. They know it's going to take 2.5 hours to do this. And they're assuming that people like me, non-techie, are going to figure it out as well. But I don't. I'm assuming 5 minutes and it took 2.5 hours. The challenge is, of course, I'm sat here waiting with my little cup of coffee in the morning. After 5 minutes, I start to get a bit frustrated because I don't know what's going on. I'm not in control. My psychological time frame has expired and I'm getting pretty irritated with this now. So the first call I had to do to Australia was on my phone, which is fine, but I don't want to use my phone. I want to use my PC so I can use all the buttons, that type of thing. So the psychological time is the expectation on behalf of the client or the prospect and the fixed time is the time on the clock, and it's different. And we've got to be really careful. And I see this a lot in different companies and clients that we work with. The company has a time frame, and the customers don't know about it, or they don't interpret it well, or they don't explain what it's going to be. And I think it's a real opportunity to manage these expectations and give some sort of visibility to it. So some of the ideas we're going to go through now are how this can affect people in a negative way and a positive way, and a few examples as well. I was hoping that one of the guys from Aberdeen was going to come on the call from a company called RS Machinery. I messaged him this morning. He was due to come on. I don't think he's going to make it, by the look of it. I've got a little case study that I'm going to talk about his company with his permission, and I'll run you through it as we go along. So this is how time works, how frustration works. And this is a true story. We're doing a renovation property up on the German border in France. It's about 45 minutes from here. When we travel up there, we have to go through some roadworks, and they've got these, obviously got traffic lights. And so you sit at these roadworks on red, and there's no traffic around because it's the middle of rural France. So you sit there, red light on, and you've got no idea how long it's going to take. Now, psychologically, my psychological time frame, and you may have your own time frame waiting for traffic lights, after about 20 seconds, I want to go. I'm tapping the wheel. I want to get on with it. I want to move things forward, get on with it. I'm looking around, getting a bit frustrated. And what they did, not just because of me, but this week they did two things. One, they introduced one of these, which is a countdown clock. So you've got the red traffic light, and then next to it, you've got this digital countdown clock, and it counts down to 0, and then it goes green, and away you go. And what it does, it calms people down. Well, it calms me down anyway. But if I know it's on red and it's counting down from whatever number it is, I can visualize that. I can stretch my psychological time frame to match the actual time frame. It doesn't take any longer or shorter. I'm sat there for the same period of time because I understand it, and I can fit my time scale around it and count it down. It's absolutely fine. It works really well. The other one they do, and you probably get these all over the world now anyway, is this one where they have the red light and a countdown clock goes. I like this even better because counting down from 100, it's just a countdown. It's pretty irritating. But with the countdown timer thing, you can see you've got you're 3/4 of the way, you're halfway, you've got a quarter to go. It's ticking down. It's visual. You can visualize the whole process. Very elegant. And this has been shown to calm people down. People don't jump lights. They don't jump the red light. They wait because they can know what's going to happen. It's a perfect way of communicating. And these are sort of things that in business we tend to miss out on. And I'll tell you a story about the plumber who came to our house. He said he was going to be there on Thursday at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we get there. We can't live in it yet because it's just a shell. We get there for 8 o'clock in the morning to meet him. We're there at 7:30. And at 9 o'clock, he phones up, or his boss phones up, and he's not going to get there till this afternoon about 3 o'clock. And it's like, flipping heck. Now, psychologically, for me, if somebody says, I'm going to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, I expect them to be there in my time frame at about 5 to 8, to be there, ready to go, all kitted up, tooled up, in there, do the job, away you go. Because that's how I operate. You know, the people who know me well, I know I'm irritatingly punctual. I'm always on time. So my psychological time frame when somebody says they're going to be somewhere is, well, I'm going to be there as well. I'm going to be there on time, away we go. When he said, I'm going to be there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, he didn't think it was a problem because he knew for him that he'd had a problem in the morning and something had gone wrong. He had to go and fix this. He had to go to the store, and it all made sense to him. So his time frame didn't match mine. Now, if you're going to run a plumbing business, if you want to be excellent at plumbing, just guarantee to be on time for your clients. Whether you're a plumber, electrician, a builder, whatever it is, you just guarantee to be on time for your clients. And I guarantee, again, you're going to be number one in the world at doing it. But this visibility is key. Understanding what the psychological contract is around timescales. The other one that, of course, we all know these ones is the download speeds on computers. They started off in the old days. Remember the old computers? It was just a little hourglass would sort of turn and flip occasionally. We had no idea how long it was going to take. Then we had the spinning wheel. Then we have the download bars, and now we can see 50%, 75%, and 90%. But interestingly, what happened with a lot of these download bars was, and you probably experienced this yourself as well, is that it gets to 99% and then it stops, it freezes at 99% for about half the time again. And that's just it's not a glitch, it's the way that downloads work. They have to do that. The final 1% takes a long time. So what they did then, they engineered the app so it actually slowed the bar down. Although the actual download was getting towards the end, they slowed it down so that it was a more linear percentage drop off. And what they found was that when people had that information and they knew it was going to take a period of time, it gave them percentage and it was smooth and linear, they can predict the end of it. Much more engaging. People calm down, they go and make a cup of coffee, come back, it's all good. And it just it reduced people's frustrations in terms of downloading. So this is something that's been proven in the IT tech world time over. But also, if you look at other organizations have done this on a commercial basis, and we have a Domino's pizza in Metz here, and occasionally I'm allowed to have pizza, Lynn tells me. So they do this. Now, this is the British version, the UK version. But if you get a Domino's pizza, you have a pizza tracker, and you can go online and you can watch and see the updates of your pizza, whether it's going, the order's placed, they're preparing it, they're baking it, they're boxing it, and then it's on for delivery. Now, how do they do that? How can you possibly do that with a pizza? Well, it's just a barcode. They print a barcode, they zap it into the oven on prep and cutting it onto the back of the bike in the heat-proof box, and off it goes. Now, the delivery aspect to it is, they see only the box was boxed for delivery at 12:37 p.m. They give you a specific time because they know from GPS coordinates from the store to our home is going to take them about 8 minutes. Now, what they've also done, and I actually spoke to about this, they keep these little scooters. Now, we can hear the scooter coming from the store pretty much. So we can check online where the pizza is, when it's being cooked, when it's being boxed, and when it's en route. And it just means that we don't have to sit here wondering, where's it going to be? Is it en route or not? Now, the interesting thing is what the pizza guys have found is that it doesn't matter how long it takes, actually, providing people know how long it's going to take, they can see it in process, they're more comfortable with it. Because on Saturday night, it might take you an hour to get the pizza. On a Monday evening, it might take you 20 minutes. It's not the time itself, it's the visibility and the understanding of the time that really makes a difference. So we can use these type of principles, and I've got some examples to show you, to bring this sort of comfort to your clients, your prospects. It could be a candidate for a job, it could be somebody quoting for a job or something like that, or standard services within in your operations. If we can bring this level of visibility, it solves the problem of psychological time. If I order a Domino's pizza and I think it's going to be here in 10 minutes and it's not here in 10 minutes, I'm irritated. I'm not going to be happy. But because it's being explained to me and I'm being demonstrated and visible and real time is being measured for me, my psychological time frame stretches to match their operational time frame. That's the magic of it. It's a psychological trick to a certain extent. So this visibility is a key driver of how we can use time and speed. We need to be quick, but we can use speed as well. And just going back to the plumbers, we did this with a plumbing or a home improvements company, and we found that the one thing that people are frustrated about is when you book a plumber or electrician or whatever it is, they're never on time, or rarely on time. They don't show up on time. When they do get there, they are scruffy, they're late, they're not prepared, or whatever. All these sort of things. What we did, what this company did, was they guaranteed to their clients to be on time. If they say they're going to be at your home at 10 o'clock, they guarantee to be there at 10 o'clock, or the job is free. The work is done for free. Now, when we had that idea, we would think, my God, that can go wrong. But what that does is it forces the operations team in the business to make sure that things are planned and structured, and the tools are right, the appliances are okay, they've got all the kit in the back of the van, and they guarantee to be there on time. And what happened was they put the prices up by about 20-25%. They guaranteed to be on time, built a fabulous reputation. And because people had that psychological expectation of the plumber, they should be there on time, they guaranteed that, and it just transformed the business for them. Too many plumbers, electricians, and handyman type people, fabulous as they might be at doing their jobs, they think that because they've had a problem in the morning, it's okay to be there in the afternoon at 3 o'clock. It works on their logical time. it doesn't match the psychological time of the clients, and that's what we've got to work around. That's the real opportunity. So one of the examples I wanted to share with you as well is this is I don't think Stefan's made it onto the call, but I'll send them recording. So Stefan, I want to thank you for allowing me to use your example. So this is a company up in Aberdeen. They make, or they provide and sell machine tools, and these are big machines that are basically fabricating bending metal, if you like. These sort of big presses and punches and laser cutters, fabulous machines, anything up to about $250,000, 200,000, 300,000 pounds, big machines. And what they found was that when they have a particular process that they go through when an order is placed from a client, they have a particular process they have to go through to get the machine ordered, get it tested, get it installed, get it shipped, get it packed, all this sort of thing. And what we found was that the clients didn't know that. And the clients, they expected the machine to be there within a couple of weeks. So their psychological expectation of 2 weeks was guaranteed to be let down, because the reality is it's going to take you 6 weeks or 8 weeks to get the machine. So what they did, and we went through this, we had a lot of conversations around this, and this was their idea. I don't take any particular credit for it. I was involved, but this was their idea of how they could solve this problem. So what they did, you buy a machine from RS, and then you're given this box, like a presentation folder. And it's called the journey to you. It's a journey the machine is going to take to get to you as the buyer. And when you open this folder, inside, you've got a couple of coffee sachets, you've got a coaster, you've got some documents and some flyers and some brochures, and you've got a map in the middle of it. Here it says, read me. And this is the roadmap down which or through which your machine is going to go. So you place the order for your machine, and then they're explaining, and I'll show you on a larger scale. Here we go. This is the after sale process. It goes from purchase order to confirmation, to drawings, to delivery, to training, and it explains to the clients exactly what to expect. You've placed your order. This is what's going to happen. It's going to take you 6 weeks. We're going to update you at every stage, but you've got to go through these stages with us. This is how we're going to manage the project for you. And what they found was that when they explained this to clients, the clients went, okay, that's great. I didn't know that, but that was just, that we'll go along with it. That's fantastic. We're positioning the client's psychological time frame to match reality. And when they explained it to them, all the clients, I believe, most of the clients, or I say all of them, went, okay, that's great. Now, the trick is, of course, if you make a promise of this flow with dates and key activities in there, you've got to achieve it. You've got to follow through and keep the promise. But this just took away all the frustrations, because if the client thinks it's going to be 2 weeks, they start to sell products. They get the engineers ready to come and install it and this sort of thing. Where's my machine? I thought it'd be here now. It's 6 weeks. It's on the water somewhere. It might be able to be imported from somewhere else. So they took this idea and put it into this process. Now, this is what they did, and this is when these machines are sort of up to $250,000 and higher sometimes. But they use it for other machines as well, smaller machines. And what they found it just positioned the clients. They knew what to expect, and it became a very nice sales tool as well, because they could explain from a sales perspective, here's what's going to happen to you when you work with us. This is what's going to happen to you. Great sales tool. And they've got a lot of happy clients, and that's what they do. Sending them a coffee sachets and a coaster. I think they get a mug as well. It's a nice little welcome kit as well, but a very nice touch, And I'm sure I'll send you the slides so you can have a look at these in more detail. The company is RS Machinery, Aberdeen. Google it, have a look. They do some very, very cool things up there. If you want to buy a machine, if you're in the business for a laser cutter, speak to Stefan Ross at RS Machines and you'll get one of these. Anyway, if you want one, go have a chat with him. He's a good lad. So that's how they did it. They took this real time and transferred it so it matched the psychological timing of the clients. Something we do as well. An example of what we do when we do quotations or presentations, proposals for workshops, for example. One of the challenges is that people say, well, what do we get? We're going to book a workshop. What do we get and how does it work? And what I've seen a lot of people do when they deliver a workshop proposal, they basically say, we're going to do a customer service workshop, and we're going to talk about 5 key things, stuff. We're going to talk about stuff, and it's going to cost you X amount. Off they go. And about 2 years ago, I saw some of these other quotations. I thought, well, that doesn't fit the psychological pattern of the client. So what we do is we do this. So this is a roadmap of a one-day workshop, and we slice it down into chunks, and we tell them exactly what's going to happen on the first 10 minutes up to tea break. We've got a lunch break, afternoon break. We're going to do this. We're going to show video. We're going to do questions, action planning. And we send that over to the clients and we say, that's what we think we're going to be doing. Are you okay with that? Do you want to change it? And regularly they come back and say, well, could we do a bit more of this? Could we change that? And away they go. And the beauty of it is that when we get there, they know exactly what they're going to get, at what time of day. They know they're going to get a tea break. The most important thing in training workshops isn't the content of the training, is when's lunch. The lunch is there, it's timed out. 12:30, 1:30 is lunch. Everybody who comes to the workshop, they get one of these, and it's all laid out for them. And what we found, our conversion rate from training inquiry through to order has gone up dramatically now because of this visibility. It really helps. So, it's a trust thing. Because we're selling an invisible, intangible service, if I can bring it to life with an image, the trust is built as well. So it's time, but also trust. It's a key one to have. Bring it all to life. And you can do this in any business. You can do it in recruitment. You can do it with your candidates. As a candidate, this is what's going to happen to you. With a client, if they're recruiting somebody, here's what's going to happen. Here's a roadmap of what we're going to do, how it's going to work, when we're going to come back with CVs for you. Here's what's going to happen. Here's our sort of guarantee. It's a very elegant way of doing it, providing you can back it up. And even for this workshop, this is something we do for this workshop. You may have seen this on the workshop notes. Is how we do it. We do presentation and content for about 40 minutes max, some group work on the Zoom call, and then Q&A at the end, 0 to 60 minutes, and we're done within an hour. And that gives people that comfort. What am I going to get? And easy to do, very easy to do. And you can apply it to just about any business. I went to see my dentist. I had to have some bridge work about, 12 months ago. And she did the same sort of thing. And bizarrely, she explained to me what was going to happen. And they have to do all sorts of, if you have any bridge work, you know what I'm talking about, but all sorts of weird stuff they have to do. And they have to send it away to the lab and get things made and then fitted and adjusted. And they glue it in and away you go. And she gave me this roadmap and said, it's going to take 6 weeks from start to finish. You're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to be here. We're going to be there. We're going to email you. We need deposits. We need this. Great. I knew exactly what was going to happen, and they matched it to the day. It was great, because in my world, I want to go to the dentist and get this bridge done within 20 minutes. That's my hope, if you like. It's going to take 6 weeks. It's like crikey, but because they knew about it and they told me, they positioned me for it, it worked, and it was absolutely fine. So these principles, they can work really well. Okay, Claire, thanks, Claire. Claire's got to jump out. It's absolutely fine. Good to see you. Now, this is how trust works in terms of communication. So, and you can see this when you send an email to somebody or a text message, or you phone them, or you do a social media message. The trust is very high. But if you respond reasonably quickly, for example, to an email or a call, I had a message on, I think it was Facebook Messenger last night, and somebody just pinged me a quick message, and luckily I was on literally the phone was on. I went back within about 30 seconds. And so speed of response equals trust. If I'm responding quickly, it doesn't have to be within 10 seconds, but responding efficiently and quickly, trust increases. So if it's a quick response, then it's, I trust you. I trust you. Longer it goes though, then something, I'll send you a message. Are you okay? Are you still there? Are you listening to me? If it goes on a bit longer, the trust drops a bit more. And then I start to think, if you don't message him back, well, I think, well, you don't care. And at some point I agree and go, well, no, I don't care either. And then I'm gone. And this happens certainly in commercial world with things like quotations and proposals and all this sort of thing. We have a client over in Germany, and what they do, they're a manufacturing client, and they make horticultural manufacturing products. And I went to see them first time, must be 3 or 4 years ago now. And we sat there, look, fabulous business, really, really good products. And we're looking at sales. And one of my bugbears is, what's your conversion rate from quotation to client? What's your conversion rate? And it was really low. It was about 20%, which I thought was really low. I said, well, why is it so low? I said, well, we do the quotations and we get the orders. I said, well, when do you follow the orders up? When do you follow the sort of quotations? When are you following through? And the guy said, bless him, he said, well, we don't. He said, if they want the products, they'll order them from us. They'll call us. We don't call them. They call us. So, okay, interesting. So what we did, because what happened, the quotations were put in and literally nothing happened. So the client's thinking, well, if they don't follow up, they don't call, maybe they don't want the work. And now some clients did, but a lot didn't. So what we did, we literally got all the quotations out that we'd done in the last, I think it was 6 months, went through every quotation they'd done. We phoned everybody. And the regular feedback we got was either, glad you phoned, or glad you called. It's still in progress, waiting for the architect to give us approval. We're getting to the next stage now. Come back in 3 weeks' time and we can talk about it. And they got their conversion rate up to 60% just by doing follow-up, just by following up, but keeping it quick, not on the day you send the quotation, but being in control, telling the clients. And what they do now is when they do a quotation, they say to the clients, look, here's a quotation. We are going to be in touch with you in 8 days' time. We're going to call you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to check it's all okay and make sure everything's on track. And then next time they phone them in 8 days' time, if they don't get the order, they book another call. They let them know what's going to happen. They keep in touch and they follow through. But if you imagine a conversion rate of 20% has been elevated to 60%, trebles the business. No more commercial work, no more quotations to do, no more advertising or marketing, but they trebled their business pretty much by focusing on conversion rate. And all they did was 3 key things in sales. Number 1 is you've got to follow up. Number 2, follow up. And number 3, you got to follow up. It's the golden rule. And you position your prospects of how it's going to work. You position to let them know you're going to follow through at a certain time or a certain date, whatever it is, and you do it. That will increase that level of trust because they think that you care enough to call them. It's bizarre. It really is, but that's how it works. And we do follow-ups on our inquiries and quotations. If you leave it too long, they go cold. That's why money loves speed. If they leave it too cold, quotations are they're like bread, not wine. They don't get better with age. They're better fresh, if that makes sense. So if you've got a quotation out there, it's only going to go cold and stale and horrible if you're not very careful. So make sure you're following up and you keep it fresh and keep that connection there, because it's all about trust. And the psychological expectations of the clients and prospects is they expect to be followed through. They may have some questions for you. They want to know that you care enough about them to follow through. So follow up is absolutely a key one. So these are the sort of the final rules, I think, for speed. Number 1 is set the expectations, have the RS machinery, the layout. Explain to your clients and prospects or your team members, it could be clients, it could be members of the team, it could be suppliers, whatever it is. Let them know what to expect. This is how it's going to work. This is what's going to happen to you. You take control. You set the scene. You manage the clients. You manage their expectations. You manage their psychological time frame. That's the real key for this one. Number 2, make it visual. Do a map, do a flow chart, do an image, do a graphic. If you can, make it kinesthetic as well. Give them a folder, give it to them and something they can pick up and touch and pin on the wall and work through. It can be on a screen, that's all good. But these folders that the guys at RS did, it's got coffee sachets in it and a mug and a coaster. You can sit and have a coffee while you read the folder they've given you. It's just a very nice touch. So make it visual, make it impactful, make it in color, not just a list. Make it like a roadmap, like a GPS, if you like, for the whole service. Keep the promise. If you promise you're going to do these things on second Tuesday or by 3 o'clock, you've got to follow through and be prepared to guarantee it. One of the things that I do, and some people on the call probably know this, but if I'm late for a meeting or late for a call and I haven't re-engineered or been in touch or anything like that, if I'm late, you get a bottle of champagne. It's a guarantee. I am on time or I'm dead in a bush somewhere. Now, I'm on time. It's one of my guarantees, if you like. If I'm late, you get a bottle of champagne. And it's a bit of fun. I think in the last 20 years, I've only given out about 5, which I don't think is too bad. Given the number of appointments and meetings that we have, I don't think that's too bad. But you've got to have a guarantee, follow up on it, keep the promise. And if in doubt, number 4, just pick up the phone to them, just phone them, let them know what's going on. The number of people who hide behind emails. I sent him a text, I sent her an email, I've done this, I've done that. Just pick up the phone, Hi, Bob. I'm letting you know what's going on. How you doing? I'm just going to let you know we're doing this. We're on track. We'll be there next week. All is good. Have a great weekend. We did this with one of the lawyer clients in the UK. And what we found was when people are being, she was a litigation defense lawyer. And so when people are being sued, they get very nervous. They don't know what's going on. And so what Sarah did, she would phone up the clients every Friday evening and say, just to give you a quick update on what's going on, is we're doing this, whatever was going on, and we've got it, it's under control, have a great weekend. And that one conversation, just by picking up the phone, and she didn't charge them for the phone call, but you just let them know what's happening, they're on top of things, they can relax, have a nice weekend, reduce the whole stress levels of her clients as well. So just pick up the phone and call them, and that's how you can build this psychological contract with them as well. So that brings to a close our sort of first 30 minutes of content. Just very quickly for the people watching the video, maybe not on the call, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm easy to find. You can just Google David Holland MBA. I'm all over the place. If you want to have a sit down and coffee and a chat and look at what we do, please get in touch. It'd be good to hear from you. For the people on the call now, what I'm going to do in a second or two is pause the recording, and I'm going to invite you to go into the breakout rooms. And this is your question. As you go into breakout rooms, I'll put you in groups of 4, maybe 5. And just really, what will you do to speed up? What could you do in your business with your clients, your customers, your contacts, or your team, or your network? What could you do to manage this psychological time frame to either increase the speed and increase the pace, or to improve the quality, service, and reliability of what you do? So I'm going to just pause the recording.